Well, hello, everyone. My day today took a unexpected but pleasant turn. I had walked down, I had taken the elevator down to the lobby. I was going to sit in the lobby and figure out how to order a grab to go to a motorbike rental place that I'm interested in renting, where I can rent in Chiang Mai and maybe return it in Phuket. So I had sat down on the bench in the lobby, and this young lady from the Netherlands comes up. She sits next to me and she smiles and says, "Oh, what you doing today?" And I told her, "I'm going to rent a motorbike." She says, "I'm going zip lining." And I said, "Zip lining?" And she said, "Yeah, it's a tour." I said, "Oh, that sounds interesting. I haven't been zip lining in a couple decades." And she said, "Yeah." And she got the brochure from the hotel clerk. And I looked at it. And it's a mighty extensive ziplining tour. And I said, I said, "You mind if an old man tags along?" She said, "Sure." So I told the lady at the desk, "Hey, I want to join that tour." She said, "Which one?" I said, "The one that's today." About that time, the guy in the van drives up to pick her up. And she said, "The one that's leaving now?" I said, "Yeah." She said, "Let me call him." So she jumps on the phone, calls him, and then the van driver comes in, and they asked him, "Well, any seats left?" And there was one seat left. So they said, "Yeah, you can go." And I said, "All right, I guess I'm not going to rent a motorbike today." So I give the lady my what was it? I don't remember what the charge was, but anyway, it wasn't that expensive, 1,000 baht or something like that. And so off we went, about an hour's drive up into the mountains. We getting about cloud height, and it's pretty, And as you're going up the mountains, just like in Vietnam, the road gets narrower and narrower the further up you go. So we finally got to the top of the mountain, and boy, they had some extensive waivers. So I'm reading the waiver, and they named a bunch of ailments that you can't go with, and of course, I had about two or three of them. I said, well, I'm not going to admit to those. But then a girl from the Netherlands also sitting next to me. She says, "Oh, I got an insulin pump," because diabetes was one of the first ones they mentioned. I said, "I can't see where diabetes would affect you on a zip line. It's just lawyers wrote just to cover everything." And so she asked them, and they let her go with an insulin pump. So I knew I was good with my diabetes. And then you read down, and they had one thing that really concerned me. The weight limit on it was like 240, and I'm pushing every bit of 265. And I said, "Hey, I'm a little bit overweight, about 10 kilos overweight. Is that going to be a problem?" Because I have been on a zip line in Belize, and I was a little bit over their limit, and I wound up on two of the landings under the platform. And so I was concerned. So I asked them, and they said, "Yeah," but then they started looking at me with my cane and my boots, and just kind of old wore out fella like I am. And the lead manager, he come over there and he starts talking to me, and they show me some pictures. You got to walk a couple of rope bridges with like 2x6 slats, and his sucker was swingy and but it was fun. So I said, "Yeah, I can. If these people can do it, I can do it." And then he showed me a picture of a cargo net used as a ladder to go up about 30 feet. And he said, "You gonna be able to do that?" I said, "If those people can do it, I can do it." And he said, "We don't know if we're gonna let you go." I said, "Look, if I can't make it, I can't make it." He said, "Well, once you get in the jungle, you can't get out." And I said, "Well, I'd like to try." So being overweight, being diabetes, being high blood pressure, all the things that they had me marked down for, I signed the waiver. I went anyway at my own risk, and that's what it was all about. Well, I tell you what now, I was almost too heavy for the zip line. They started off with little short ones, and that's fine. I didn't have no problems. But the long ones, with the amount of dip they have, then when you go back up, it slows your speed down. But a couple of them, I came in hot. As a matter of fact, I hit my back on a tree on one of them so bad it tore a hole in the back of my pants. I butt rumped on a few landings. There were 26 different takeoffs, ranging anywhere from a couple hundred yards to, I think a couple of them were over a kilometer. I mean, not a kilometer, a kilometer. They were good long ones, so it was really, really a great, exciting day. I was exhausted. They took good care of me, and, toward the end, we had a lot of stairs to climb, a lot of walks between some of the towers, getting back to elevation where you can keep going. And, most Asian people are real friendly, and the ones that are in the hospitality even more so. And they like calling their elders, either aunt or uncle. Well, they call me Papa the whole trip. And I had, I think, two guides assigned to making sure I made it. But it was a wonderful day. I came home. I came back to the hotel room, and I passed out. I took a shower and passed out for a few hours, and now it's almost 6 o'clock, and I'm hungry. And there's the biggest night market of the week. Sunday night market's a kilometer long. I think I'm gonna go walk that and see what they have. And supposed to have street entertainers and musicians, not stations, but just along the route when you go and looking at the different stalls and whatnot. So it ought to be a nice night, and I should be able to find some good street food. I had breakfast at the hotel, and then after we did our zip lining, it came with a buffet lunch because it was 1:30, 2 o'clock before we were done. And they picked us up around 8 in the morning, so it was a full, good, day of zip lining. Actual travel time on the wires was probably a couple hours. This is what they said. So, yeah, I had a wonderful day, and I'm just so happy to be a tourist in Thailand. Go Chiang Mai. Y'all have a good day.